Welcome to the running journey. Welcome to the running journey.
Welcome to the running journey.
Welcome
to the running journey. Running journey, yeah. Welcome to The Running Journey, a transformative podcast telling the story of two brothers faced with a very tough time in their lives that decided to do something about it, get healthy, get fit, and start jogging. The Running Journey will take you through half marathons, Ironmans, ultramarathons, and their attempt at qualifying for the Boston Marathon.
Don't forget 5Ks. Sorry.
We're certainly not going to forget 5Ks, Charlie. This is The Running Journey. Listen to us while you run.
That's a great idea.
Okay, I think we have our intro. Hey guys, welcome. Rob here, Rob Tetrault, along with my brother, Charlie Tetrault, another episode of The Running Journey. Thank you for joining us. It's been a very, very cold stretch here, Winnipeg, Manitoba, over the last couple of weeks. How's your training been going, Charlie?
Not too bad. How about you?
I'd say mine this week is a lot better than last week. I had a rough week last week. I had a really rough week, and I've never had a week like that where it's like I couldn't. So I did my ultra 9 days ago as of recording this. And after that, I had a hard time. I had a hard time on the way back.
Yeah. Do you want to go a little bit deeper into that? What was it physically, mentally? What were the difficulties?
It's like you're my therapist. Let's explore that a little bit deeper. Yeah, I had a rough time. So I don't know exactly what happened, but I got back and I was so fatigued. Maybe it was the travel. Maybe it was the fact that I literally just ate like shit when I was down there. After my race, I think I scarfed down an entire bag of chocolate covered almonds that night. And I was just craving calories so bad. And I just ate brutal. I didn't sleep that well, I guess, traveling back. Anyways, when I got back that Tuesday, a week ago today, I pretty much slept the whole day. I've never, almost like I was going through a depression or something. Like I just slept the whole day. I hadn't jogged yet. I guess I was like, maybe it's
probably physically needing that sleep though. I mean, I think.
Yeah, I think physically I needed the sleep for sure.
For recovery, yeah.
And then after Wednesday was like I wasn't recovering and I wanted to just go out and jog so bad, but my body was just so sore and I couldn't. Coach was like, don't jog. Take some time off. So finally on Saturday, I just went out for a jog and I just felt so good to just go out. It was like the whole week was like people were asking me at the office, are you okay, Rob? Like, is everything all right? Because I was just like lethargic and slow. And when I was speaking in my meetings, like it felt like I had this is an over exaggeration, but it felt like I had a stroke or something. Like I couldn't connect my thoughts and my words together. I was having a real hard time. You know, when you you don't sleep at all, and you're trying to host. I don't know if you've ever done like podcasts or TV or stuff when you're on really, really low sleep and your brain can't keep up or to what you're trying to say and you end up just mumbling your words. That's kind of how I felt.
Yeah.
So I had a shit week.
Oh, that's too bad.
But you know what? Sorry.
A couple of similarities after I did only 20 miles, but in the snow. I overate for a week. I was a little depressed. Same kind of similar. I wasn't as tired, I don't think, as you were. I think I moved very slowly for 4 hours. But so some similarities. You were saying though?
No, I was just saying this is the first time that I kind of experienced a little bit of that after the Tucson marathon, a little bit of a kind of a post-race blues, a little bit where I was like, I didn't know what to do, but I know exactly what I'm doing right now. So, I find it odd that I was this, because if it was like the arrival fallacy or like, what do I do now? What's next? Well, I mean, I have an Ironman in 8 weeks. I have Run with Rob in like 3 months. So my calendar is full. I have New York. We both signed up for New York. We're running that in November. We have Boston in April. So my next year is all mapped out already for races. So it's odd that I felt that kind of sad. So I'm guessing it's a combination of bad diet, bad sleep, fatigue, and like just the dopamine drain, right? So all my dopamine, because I
the
was
lack of exercise too, because
lack of exercise.
You've been used to getting that exercise every day. Yep.
I wonder if it was actually like withdrawal. Like, is it possible that it was actually like withdrawal?
Well, I know I definitely felt after the one in LA. So after a BQ, I forced myself not to run for 2 weeks, and I literally think that like made me sick, just not working out.
Wow. How did you feel? Like what? Like, give me some examples.
The first day I started again, it was like I was a different person.
Yeah.
Like, I was supposed to wait. I only waited 10 days instead of 14 because I just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, I think what I should have done is I should have biked and swam instead. But like, I wanted to go out and jog so bad. I was just like, so he said, at least a week, maybe 2 weeks off, depending on how you feel. But like, I think I was like you, because as soon as I went and I jogged, I went outside on Saturday, and it was just a gorgeous day, and I took Curly, went for a jog, and I felt like $1 million after. I felt so good. It was like, yeah, that's what I needed. My knees were sore though so I ran on the Seine River.
Oh yeah, that's fun. I've done it a couple times.
And it was, so I was like, I'll just go for like 45 minutes, an hour or something like that. I didn't have a plan. So I ran right in front of your house, and I went all the way down Demeron, and I went all the way.
Yeah. You did 4 miles, but you only did like a quarter mile of road. Because it goes around like
on the way there I took the road. On the way there I took the road, and on the way back I was like, because I didn't have a plan where I was going to go. I was like, the Seine River. I was right on the St. B golf course. I went right to the end where we go sledding, and I was like, I'll just come back on the Seine River.
It's probably a 10K on the river on the way back.
Well, it was like, it was 4K there and 7K back or whatever, or not quite, four and a bit and just about 7 on the way back. So yeah, it took me a while to get back, but the snow was like, it was a hot day, and it was like slush, and then slush that had melted. So it was like, it reminded me a little bit of Texas. And then I thought about you running in that.
It was way worse than that.
But I was just like, it's kind of like reminded me of it. And my knees were hurting on the river. So I was like, I shouldn't be doing this because it's sore. So I got off and I finished the last stretch on the road, but I felt good and I needed to get that. So anyways, for if you're watching this, the goal is not to make you depressed about us or what we're going to do. Like, I'm fine. Like, once I got jogging, I'm excited again. I'm looking forward to my race. I'm training, and it's like, I'm really, really pumped about what I got coming up. But I just want to be real. I just want to be real with anyone who's listening here. And part of this,
I'm sure there's tons of people out there that have the same experience. So
yeah. And I mean, I'd love to hear about your experiences, or like, feel free to share, put it in the comments below. Like, I wonder if like the bigger the dopamine, I was so high going into that race. I felt so good. I had done multiple 50-mile weekends. I felt really ready. I'd done a ton of training, like almost more than the BQ qualifier. Like, or I'd say about the same. Like, I was so amped up.
Probably. Yeah.
More volume, and it's all I could think about, right? Like BQ, it's all I could think about. This, I could think about a few other things, but I had a lot of volume. So like, I wonder if like the higher kind of I don't want to say the higher the high, because the high for BQ, I think like qualifying was like, if you measure it by the letdown.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure a 50 miler, like you were pretty excited to,
I was pumped. And then I was out. Like, I told you this after I spoke to you on Saturday. Like, we recorded an episode there on the Sunday morning after my 50 miler. And I'm embarrassed to say this, but like, I don't really remember it. Like, I was so out of it. Like, I slept 12, 14 hours or something. And then I set my alarm just to wake up in time to record with you at 11 a.m. And I still wasn't like ready or aware. And I don't even really remember what we talked about. So it's like, I guess it was a high, but I was talking to my sister about this. I was talking to Tanya, happens to be your sister too.
Yeah.
And she sent me like a podcast for this guy. It's like it's all about like dopamine and whatever. Tanya's always into like that kind of stuff. What is it called? This guy had millions and millions and millions of views. What is this? this guy who's like, he was trying to like connect the difference between addiction, dopamine, and like goal setting. So like very fine line between, I don't know why this isn't working, but and that's, I saw a lot of myself in there. And one of his points was that the higher, so it's not just the value of your dopamine rush isn't just how the peak, right? It's not just as high as you go, it's the peak relative to your baseline. And so the reverse, he was saying, is also the same, which is the blues or the depression on the dopamine. What would it be? The shortage of dopamine. He was saying that it's not just the valley, it's the valley relative to your recent baseline. So my recent baseline may have been really, really high, right? For dopamine, maybe over the last 2 weeks before that ultra. And then this guy's name is Andrew Huberman, and he's got like 4.8 million views on this 3-hour podcast that I listen. It's called Controlling Your Dopamine for Motivation, Focus, and Satisfaction. I'm not vouching for it or anything. My sister sent it to me and I listened to it. I don't know if it's accurate or not, but I kind of learned a little bit about dopamine. And everything he was saying, I was like, okay, that's what's happening to me right now. Anyways, so now I asked you if you wanted, I want to bring this up because I think it's a great reaction that you had. I asked you, hey, you want to run a hyperbaric, what's it called? Hyperthermic half marathon this weekend? And right away you're like, no, man, I'm too focused. I'm focused on my Ironman. Tell me why you didn't want to run a half this weekend.
Every time I run, well, first of all, I would run it really slow. So I'm not really into running these things slow. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's fine. And then 2 is I think it would just throw me off my routine. I've got kind of my routine for training for Ironman right now, pretty down pat, where even I think I could take on a bit more volume. So I'm looking forward to just keeping that routine and keeping steady right till the Ironman. And I think if I do races, that's just going to throw me off.
And when I told Claude, my dad, about that, I was like, yeah, I'm running a half this weekend. He goes, oh, good for you. Good for you. Is Charlie going to run it with you? I was like, no, he said he wants to focus on, and he's like, I like that. He's like, I like that he's focusing on his Ironman. And I was like, what about me? You don't like that I'm not focused on it? He's like, no. I like that he's focusing on his Ironman. So he was pumped to see that you had like, and it's not the same. So if you go out and do a half, I think what's going to happen to me, I told myself I'm not going to push myself, but I know what's going to happen. I'm going to end up wanting to do a time of some sort. And then you end up maybe pushing yourself or hurting your training or whatever. So that's kind of where you're at, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've done it. And so depends. So last year when I was injured, going in races was what I needed to be able to like motivate myself to push a little bit. And so that was good then. And now it's just like, I feel like I've got my routine. It's more about the routine than anything. I think I want to keep the routine I have with all my Ironman stuff. So.
No, I like it. I on a quick side note, I was looking at my training peaks and my training stress score, I believe TSS.
Yeah.
So guess what my TSS was for the ultra?
800.
No, it was like 389 or something. So I guess it wasn't that.
What do you mean, for the week or what?
No, for the day.
For one day. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
300.
So about training peaks. So I found out something really depressing. Well, it's not depressing, but so I thought I was doing really well with my bike workouts and I was pushing a lot of power and stuff. And it turns out I have 2 sensors on I have a power sensor on my pedal and I have a power sensor on my trainer. And Monday morning I did my workout. I couldn't connect the power sensor to my phone between the trainer and my phone. So I used the pedal. And I was like, this workout was just too hard. So anyway, so I tried doing the workout. I couldn't do it as prescribed. And I was like, there's got to be something wrong with the sensor. or something. Anyways, or I was just super, super tired from my long 3-hour bike ride on Sunday. So my coach was like, okay, you're injured. I gotta slow you down, whatever. But then today I just did a test, and I did both of them 10 minutes, just 10 minutes long, like, and 5 minutes apart. And I feel like there's like at least like 40 to 50 watt difference between the two sensors.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So it's like, I feel like all the data I've been putting in there is way off. Like I'm probably overstating my power by 50 watts.
Okay, anyways. But wait, which one's higher?
So the one that I've been training on for the last 6 months, 3 months, whatever, it's not, I don't know, December, I guess it's like almost 3 months, is like 50 watts higher than the one that's on my pedal.
Is the trainer higher than the pedal?
The trainer is like 50 watts higher than my pedal sensor.
Okay, but doesn't the pedal need to be outside for it to be accurate?
I don't know. I assume that it would just feel the pedal on the bike. I don't know.
I have a vague recollection but I could be wrong. I guess it would be a quick Google, but I thought it had something to do with the tire or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I'll check it out. But coach seems to think we should be using the pedal one. So I think he would have told me about. Anyways, so he thought I was injured, but I wasn't injured. It was just I wasn't tired. It was just that my power is just overstated by 50 watts.
Okay, so what is your FTP right now? What does he have you at?
I thought it was 277.
Yeah.
But it's not that high, obviously.
Because that is, like, I remember when you told me that, I was depressed because I was like, holy shit, he's good. Like, he's way, 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 way better than me.
I'm not that good, obviously. I thought I was awesome, but I'm not.
Because, like, when you told me your
reality check.
Oh, okay. So you're closer to my numbers then. You're still higher than me.
I'm probably more like 220.
Okay. So that's, by the way, FTP is what? Functioning threshold power or something like that?
Functional threshold power, yeah.
Okay. It's basically how hard you can push for, what is it, half an hour or 20 minutes?
It's like your 10K time, basically, for an hour.
Okay. Yeah. So, well, I mean,
anyways,
you're improving.
It could be, yeah, whatever. I'm getting the workouts in. That's all that matters. It's just that I had the false hope that I was decent. So,
man, when I was on my bike in Des Moines last year, I don't even think I was like tracking any data because I was so like. So I think I had my computer going and I think I knew my speed. Oh no, my watch was telling me my speed, but basically I wasn't.
Well, your computer would give you your speed.
Yeah, it would. But I think it was like, it's a little low on my bike. Do you remember? Like it's a little low and I wasn't checking it that often. But anyways, what I'm trying to get at
it was pretty accurate when I used it.
No, I'm not saying it's not accurate. I'm saying I wasn't looking at it a lot or at all because it's a little low and it's a little hard to see and the sun or whatever. But what I'm getting at is just that basically on race day, as long as you've done the workouts, like power is going to be out the window, right? So
yeah, but I mean, if you think you're 277 and you're only 220,
but it's an arbitrary number, right? It's a number picked out of the air.
It's not an arbitrary number because it's a highly correlates to how much time you're going to take to do the Ironman, right? So
no, but did 277 mean anything to you?
Yeah, it meant that I can probably go like 21 miles an hour fairly easy.
But your speed is
but I can't. So
but okay, I guess I disagree or I don't understand. But to me, if FTP was 15,000, would it mean anything to you?
Yeah,
it's just a number.
You would mean. I mean, okay. So if you assume it's accurate, okay, it's basically your speed, right?
No, you're not going 228 miles an hour.
Your power is basically how fast you go.
I get it, but the metric, the unit of measure is whether it's thousands or hundreds or tens or 50s is just a number.
But it's the direct correlation.
I get it. It's a correlation. But what I'm getting at is it's not like 275 is a magic number like a 4-minute mile or something. Like it's
no. But 275
arbitrary number. It's high.
It gives me a good indicator that I can probably do it under 6 hours.
Based on what? Google research? Like,
oh yeah, tons of you can.
Okay, fine. But like the number itself, if like for me, I have no idea if 275 is good or bad, or so I thought 220 was very good for me. And then you told me 275. I was like, oh shit, he's way better than I am. So I've never Googled kind of power for a marathon or race or anything. If someone would have told me I'm at 300, it would have been totally relevant.
Yeah.
So you went and Googled and said, okay, 275, that means you could probably do it in 5.5 hours or 5 hours or something like that, right?
Well, 5:45 or something, right? Whatever.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, I don't know, but I think 6 hours is kind of like that would be a huge win. I think if either of us could do it in 6 hours.
Yeah. Okay, so now do you want to talk? So how have your bike workouts been?
Good. I've been biking since Saturday. What day was it? Tuesday. So I did not find my goggles or my swimsuit, but now I know where they are. So I was supposed to
in your bag. I'm sure it's in your bag.
I looked in my bag, but I think I have 2 separate bags. So I know where it is. I figured it out. Or maybe it's just a way for me to delay my swim.
Were you supposed to swim today?
I was supposed to swim.
And what'd you do instead? Just nothing?
I biked.
Oh, okay.
I biked for an hour instead.
So my swimming's coming unreal. I don't know. So that one you can measure the exact distance and the amount of time.
Yes, you can measure pace, speed, 3.8 kilometers. It took me an hour.
So I did my last 1,200 meters in under 2 minutes per 100 meters in my workout today. But coach scaled it back because of the power reading on my bike. I was supposed to do 3,500 meters today, but I only did 2,000 because of the.
He was worried.
He was worried that I was
He's but I wasn't. Like, those Tetraults are so soft. I gotta cut them back. The one's depressed in his basement. The other one can't even output 270. They're so soft. I gotta pull those 2 back.
Yeah. Anyways, but I'm really happy with my pool workouts, my swimming workouts.
Yeah, I think I'm going to enjoy it. I was actually looking forward to it this morning because it's been a while since I've been in a pool. So I was really looking forward to it. I was actually really excited about it. And then I was like, so I just ordered on the spot. I was frustrated. I just
Amazon.com.
Amazon bathing suit, goggles. I mean, I could have swam with my flower bathing suit down to the knees, but I had a gorgeous Speedo.
It's got to be in the same bag because I had both of those and I know I gave it back to you.
No, but yeah, you're talking about the mesh bag with my wetsuit. Yeah. What are you talking about? Yeah,
okay. That mesh bag with the wetsuit.
Yeah. I think I buried that thing and I've not pulled it out. But yeah, I know it's in there. I know it's in there. So I was kind of looking forward to swimming, but I'm excited about like the next 3 months. I'm getting really excited about Run with Rob too, which is going to be fun. People keep asking me about injury prevention. They're like, your body's never done that much mileage. Like it's going to be like, you're going to be injured. I look at my my training peaks. So the highest I've ever had, I shouldn't say ever. How long is this? This is a year. This is 6 months. So in the last 8 months, my whatever you call it, my chronic training load or whatever, CTL, was the highest it's ever been right after my my ultra, obviously, because I was doing 50 miles per weekend the 2 weekends before. But now it looks like it's going down here over the next, I don't know, couple of weeks. I guess I get a bit of a taper. So you did 3 hours on the weekend? How did that go?
On my bike?
Yeah, it's a bit of a long time to be on a bike.
No, I crushed it. I did average
280 power. 280 power.
So let's look at it. So average power 189, including the warm up and cool down.
You averaged 189 for 3
hours? but take 50 off. It was actually only 139.
Okay, but that 189. I was gonna say that's really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me,
pretty good. Yeah. And then I did my brick run after, and I don't know about you, but my brick runs, I feel like they're not. It actually feels good running off the bike.
Yeah. When I first did my first 2 or 3, or my first 1 or 2, it was like a little awkward. But after that, yeah, because it's only a half hour and you've done 3 hours or 45 minutes, or I think they stretch out to an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I don't remember. But it's not mentally, it's no problem, right?
No, but not even. I just feel like my legs, they actually feel kind of springy because maybe they're stiff from the bike. I don't know.
Do you do it on a treadmill, or you go outside?
No, I just go outside. Yeah.
Do you do transition and change and try to go?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it's cold right now, so it takes me like 5 minutes to switch.
It didn't take you 22 minutes?
No, 4.5 last time.
That was my time for my transition.
Yeah. Sorry, and I got 100 grams per hour of carbs.
And you did that on the bike?
On the bike, yeah.
What'd you do? Cliff bars and gels?
No, I'm not going to do Cliff bars. Isn't not going to work for me. Gels, I got these fruit source bars that are the kids' snacks. They're awesome because it's pure sugar.
Yeah.
And 7 scoops of Scratch, which is stuff you mix into the drink.
Yeah. I guess I got to get on that. Everyone says that that's a thing, right? Because you get both your calories and your carbs, right?
And your electrolytes.
Sorry, electrolytes is what I meant to say.
Well, water, you get hydration, you get carbs, and you get electrolytes. So it's pretty nice, yeah.
Yeah, if your stomach is not, and is it hard on the stomach?
It might be, depends. Like I feel like I'm just sweating so much that I can take pretty much anything in at that point. Like it's like, I don't know. So we'll see.
For me, I feel like I have a significant competitive advantage against my peers in that I can pretty much eat anything and I can just go, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on, but yeah.
No?
Go a bit harder. It might be different if you're going a bit harder. To me, there's a lot of things that it depends on, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
So I don't know. Yeah, to me, if it's too fatty, it's hard.
I mean, I had zero issues on my ultra, and I ate at the end. I was eating hash browns and whatever was there.
Yeah, hash browns to me, that's like pure carbs almost, right? So it's pretty good.
But it's you don't really, I guess spices and whatever. They just loaded it up with salt. So you're prepping then for a meal plan for potential for the Ironman?
Yeah, I think I got my plan. It's going to be I think I'm set. I like what I've got right now. So it's just about actually doing it, practicing on the bike.
Yeah, it's not the same outside than on your thing.
Well, just doing it while I'm driving a bike, that might be hard. I don't know how.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying.
Did you put your what did you do? You put your hands on the little bars on the side, or what?
I would kind of take one, put it between my hands, rip it open, and then.
Oh, I'll definitely unwrap them all before I start, so there's no wrapping.
Yeah, what I would I had a little box on my bike, and I believe it stores 5 Cliff bars or something like that. So what I would do after the first kind of hours or whatever, I would open all 5 at the aid stations, and I put them in there. But what happened? It was so hot that day. They ended up kind of melting together and forming a big block of Cliff. So I was just kind of eating through 5 bars, melted and folded up Cliff bars. But I was actually cool because I knew it was okay. I was able to do that. I think you're just gonna get better at it. It's not
but it's not I feel like with the Scratch, if I can get get 4 bottles of Scratch, and then all I need is probably 3 fruit source bars and 6 bars and 6 gels. That's nothing to carry.
Yeah. And I mean, you can put some in your halfway bag too, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll probably put some Scratch. Well, no, it's going to be too hot.
Yeah, you could, I guess. Yeah, it's going to melt. Everything's going to melt because they can't guarantee that it's going to be it's going to be in the sun, right? So
yeah.
Okay, so you had 3 hours this weekend, then you did a brick run, and then did you have to do something on Sunday, like an hour or something like that?
Sunday. Sorry. So Sunday was I don't know. I guess he moved my bike to Sunday. I think he's worried about my running because he moved my runs are Saturday now. My long run Saturday. So I think he wants to do my run before my bike because he's worried about my running. He's worried about me and getting injured after the Frozen Falcon. I feel now that I'm it's starting to feel really good. Like I don't feel injured at all, really. Like
yeah.
So
I would. Do you prefer to do it on the Saturday, the long bike?
I think I do. I'm not sure.
I for sure did, but because then you can kind of start your weekend.
Well, the problem is then I have a decently hard. I have my low cadence bike workout on Monday, and that's hard to do back to back. Like the low cadence one. Do you get low cadence bike workouts?
I think I was getting one a week, but then it stopped for my ultra. I'm guessing it's going to pick up again.
Yeah.
The like 55, 60 cadence. And it doesn't even go. Yeah, it goes down to like 55, right?
Well, I did 140 a couple of weeks ago.
And the power's still got to be at like 150 or whatever.
Well, he had me doing so my workout. This is how hard it was. Okay, I'm gonna look at it. So 235. 235 to 263 at 50 to 60 RPM.
For how long?
For 10 minutes only.
Yeah, that would be very hard for me. I don't know if I could do that.
But I was able to do it the previous week with the cheater power meter, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that.
Anyways, well, it's meaningless because like apparently they're 50 off. Like they can be up to 50 off. So power meters are useless. That's
do you think?
Rant.
Do you think that
if anyone knows about power meters, like let me know.
Yeah, we'd love to hear someone who's knowledgeable about this because I'm certainly not knowledgeable. For me, it was just an arbitrary number that I was measuring myself against. That's what it would serve me. And that coach could use to set some targets and whatever. Do you think the speed is accurate? Do you think like the kilometers per hour, miles per hour is accurate?
Oh, no, that's for sure not accurate. But that I would expect it not to be because there's so many variables, right? Downhill, uphill, wind, aerodynamic, how aerodynamic you are, bike, tire pressure. Like there's a million variables, right?
Yeah, but a lot of those, the trainer could factor.
No, they do. They try, but what I'm saying is they don't know what those parameters are.
Yeah,
it doesn't know which bike I'm wearing. It doesn't know how well oiled my bike is. It doesn't know how aerodynamic I am.
Yeah, so those two it doesn't. It doesn't know the wind, but it knows the hills in the.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's terrible, but all I'm saying is I wouldn't expect it to be accurate.
Okay, do you think it would be accurate on two separate devices? On the same day or no?
What do you mean?
Like your power. You said your power was off. The same
person. I would expect two power meters to give me the same reading, or at least close.
And you would expect two bike trainers to give you the same
if speed. I'm pushing the same amount of power.
Yeah. I don't know if it's accurate, but I know that
it doesn't matter.
I know that when I would go and do my bike, I feel like the speed was comparable outside to what I was doing in my basement. I feel like maybe I'm wrong, but
that'd be good. Except if my power is overstated by 50 watts, then my speed's probably overstated quite a bit.
What are you averaging in terms of kilometers per hour? For like
I don't know. Like a good run. Well, it depends on how hilly it is, right? So if I do a normal, like a pretty flat course, it'll be like 21 miles an hour, which is like 34, I guess.
Okay, so that's way faster than me.
If I'm doing, yeah, I know, but it's using the power data to generate that number, right? So can we move on to something? I guess. Yeah, I don't want to keep complaining about my power meter. So We need to talk about something else.
I think it's fine. I think it's fine.
So next week at some point we're gonna play this sport called running chess.
Run chess. Chess run? Run chess.
Run chess, yeah. Okay. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So I don't know. Did this start when you've talked to me about chess boxing a long time ago. You talked to me about how cool that sport was. I kind of kept it on my periphery, and I saw a YouTube pay-per-view event. It wasn't pay-per-view. It was like a main event. There were like millions of people watching, and I went on and I watched it. And I think I told you about it. I sent you the link. And then
Yeah. You sent me the link. Yeah.
Did we talk about run chess, or did you just come up with it on your own?
I came up with it on my own a long time ago.
Well, we kind of came up with
it. Yeah, it was mostly me, but yeah.
Okay, so run chess, the idea is that you merge kind of two sports and you crown a world champion, just like chess boxing, right? Chess boxing makes no sense, and yet the sport works because you have, I believe it's 7 rounds, and you have a finite number of time on your clock. And if you choose not to play a move in chess, you will lose in 3 rounds. So that means you need to be able to. So let's say you're the greatest chess player on earth, Magnus Carlsen, and you're playing against Mike Tyson. So like, Mike Tyson could just sit there and not play one chess move, and then he gets 3 minutes to beat up Magnus, and then he gets another 3 minutes, and then I think he gets a third 3 minutes. So like, Magnus probably wouldn't survive, right?
Yeah. So the maybe that's a flaw in the design, I would say, but yeah.
Well, I don't think Magnus should be world chess boxing champ. He's not
right. He's not. Yeah, but who would last 3 rounds against Mike Tyson in his prime?
Maybe it's 2 rounds. I don't remember the exact rules of chess boxing, but I know there are guys that can survive 2 rounds with Mike Tyson and murder him on the chessboard, right? Like, those guys are better chess boxers.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know we're not here to lay judgment on chess boxing. Maybe it's not a perfect sport. Maybe it's not perfect. Yeah. I'll tell you what, the event that I saw was actually pretty terrible. I was disappointed because there was so many times when the guys were like, oh, you have to, like, it wasn't well thought out, well planned. At the end, there was one match where the woman knew that she had a mate on the table. She just needed to get back to the chess table, but she was getting killed in the boxing ring. It was like the 4th round or something. She needed to just survive one more round, and she was like hanging on, and and it ended up being kind of climactic. It ended up being dramatic because then she finished. There was like a standing 8 count, and the bell rang, and then she went to the
Saved by the bell.
Saved by the bell. But I guess you can't be saved by the bell if you're. Anyways, she went to the board and checkmate. And there was also another one, the guys, where the guy was like getting pummeled in the ring, and like he knew if he could just survive the chess match, he could beat him in the boxing. But they were doing the math, and he needed to make like enough moves to eat up like 20 seconds of the other guy's time. And like, he was down, like he was gonna it was almost over. So in other words, he would move, and it didn't matter how many moves, he needed to chip away at 20 seconds of the other guy's time, something like that, to win, so that he would go to the boxing. And he didn't do it. He wasn't able to, because the other guy was a much better chess player. So the idea spurred us to think about another we both like. So I was a junior chess champ. You were a junior. Well, no, you lost. Did you win or lose?
Yeah. Anyways. I lost lots. Anyways.
So I was grade 9, 10, 11, 12. They call it chess and math. It's like provincial chess championship for Manitoba. Charlie was what was your highest ELO rating or FIDE rating? You must have hit like 1800 or something.
I think I'm currently at my highest CFC rating. And
what is that?
Like, it's close to 1800.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because anyways, yeah, it's pretty high. It's decent. Well, for me it is anyways.
No, like that's like 22,000 would be like a master, where you're like, you don't lose to anyone. Like 1800, you're at the level that if you go to a party, like nobody's beating you, kind of thing, and someone breaks out a chessboard, probably.
I'm searching our ratings right now.
So I think I started. So I was good in high school. I was pretty good, and I went to the Canadian Open, and I actually drew a guy. I played in the Canadian Open as an unranked. My dad and I went. We would drive from Marchand every day prior to cell phones in 1998. 9-hour games. And I remember like I'd lose in 20 minutes and I was like, I'd go check on my dad's board. And like he was still in like the opening,
7-hour games.
No phone, no book, nothing, just sitting there sitting there waiting on a chair for 9 hours. I couldn't leave because if his match ended, like we needed to go back home to Marchand, an hour drive. But I played the Canadian Open. That was super fun. And I ended up drawing a guy who was 2,200, I think, is that my best ranked chess game of my life. I finished that tournament at 1836, I think. And since then I dropped.
So I've got the actual numbers up. So I am at my current high of 1758.
Okay.
And you're a bit lower, I won't say.
15, 14? I don't know.
1534.
Yeah, but I haven't played an official game.
You haven't played. You expired in 2001.
Okay, when did you expire?
2016.
Yeah, so I stopped playing like in high. Like I graduated in 99. I played a couple tournaments. I remember.
You were better. You've always been better than me, and you're probably still better. But just for ratings wise, I'm a little higher right now.
I'm probably playing like a 1500. That's probably accurate, or 1400 or 1300, right? Like that's probably accurate. I've not played chess of any kind ever. Now,
I'm playing like a 900. So you're definitely playing. Yeah.
Anyways, we were both kind of good chess players and we were both good runners. So Charlie came up with the idea of merging the two as a sport. So tell me what your thoughts are for run chess. I mean, not your thoughts. You've already mapped out. I
don't remember the exact time, but time controls. But basically the way it works is you've got two players. Black player would start the clock. White player makes a move. Then he needs to run a 200-meter lap. Sorry, black player starts the clock. Then white player runs a 200-meter lap before making his move, then makes his move, presses the clock. Black player needs to do a 200-meter lap, then makes his move, and so on and so on. And I think we said we were going to give about 30 seconds per lap.
Yeah, so I have your email here that you sent me. Time control is 15 minutes to start plus an additional 30 seconds for every move.
Right. So you would have a bit of time, a bit of leeway at the beginning if you're a better chess player. That the idea was try to balance players that have high. So someone that has really high chess skill can beat someone who's an elite. Like it's finding that balance where it would be a close match between an elite runner and an elite chess player, right? So
are you trying to figure out a sport that you could be world champion? Is this kind of what you were trying
No. I would never be. I wouldn't even be close. There's Jeremy Piché. I would have no chance against him.
But, he was good. He was good at chess and he's good at running too.
Yeah. So anyways, I don't know. But we'll test it out. I think the plan is we're going to test out certain time controls and see how it works. And then maybe we'll tweak it.
I spoke to producer Diego earlier today, and I asked him to look into a venue. He agrees with you that venue is probably good, but he's not sure if we can record in that venue at the Sport for Life Manitoba or whatever.
Oh, I will ask. It'll be fun. Well, we'll figure it out.
He's on it. He's going to figure it out. But if not, we're going to find a different place, and we're going to have a match, and we're going to bring it to you guys. And so basically, let's break this down. So you're running, let's say a chess game is what, 40, 50 moves?
Yeah, I think a regular chess game might usually end at around 30 to 40, but that's because people resign, right? So
if you don't have to run a lap.
Yeah, if you don't have you're going to resign. But if let's say you're going to win, people are going to be less likely to resign if they have more time on the clock, right? Because then someone can run out of time through. So I think it might take,
especially if you're a better runner and a worse chess player, which is likely what's going to happen, because the chess player will take the lead, but he's the worst runner. So the guy the guy or gal losing might want to stay in the match.
Yeah, exactly. So we thought that 200-meter laps in 30 seconds would get tiring after a while if you're not like a decent runner. And even if you are a decent, it'll be tiring for me, and we're decent runners, right? So we might be able to do it forever, but the point is that if you are ahead in the game, and you might win you might win by checkmate, or if you're behind and you're the better runner, you might win by just surviving long enough,
That's a 4-minute mile pace, right?
It's about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So 8 times 4. So if, I don't know how many people could run. You do get a 30-second break, right? So you run 30 seconds, you make your move, you get 1 30-second break, then you're running again. So you're kind of,
it's pretty intense. Like 30 meters for 30-second 200 meter is fast. Like I don't think I can do it. I think my max, because I'm probably not as fast as you are. You're probably pretty close to being able to run a 200 meters in 30 seconds. Me, I bet you if I go all out, it's like 36 or something.
So basically we're going to lose. The idea is that you're losing time every move, and eventually you're going to run out of time. So you can't just jog.
Yeah, exactly.
Because those are valuable seconds. And yet you got to be mentally sharp to think of your next move, right? So you're going to have to be thinking of your move. Well, you used to do this at parties. I remember back in the day, you used to play people blind at chess, and I've done it.
Yeah.
No,
at some point we were able to, yeah.
No, but let me tell the story. You'd go, E4. The other guy would go E5, and F3.
Well, no one wanted to play me. So if I made that offer, it would sound more interesting.
Yeah, and I've beaten people blind. Like,
not that I was that good, but
no. But what I'm getting at is we had another skill that's different than chess, which is like visual memorization of boards. I was very good at that, and you were obviously too.
Yeah,
I could picture a board in my mind right now, and I can play chess on it, right?
But I think most people who've played a lot of chess have that skill.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is that's going to be an advantage in run chess also, because the guy or gal's going to come back, make their move. You're going to see the move. You're going to go, okay, he took my knight, or he's pushing that pawn and he's attacking my knight. I got to go run. I got to go right now.
Snapshot of the board and go.
Snapshot of the board, go. And then you have 30 seconds to think about your move. And like we've played chess where.
Well, it's going to be more than 30. Like because I don't think I'm going to be running that fast.
Fine. But what I'm getting at is, like, we've played chess, a lot of our games where it's 7-9 hour games where you're thinking 15, 20, 40 minutes, an hour per move. I've done that. And you have also done that. And so it's not going to be that. It's more of a version of kind of a rapid chess. It's not
blitz. It's more like, it's closer to blitz.
Blitz than to full chess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the idea is that if you can only do like a 6-minute mile over, you're doing 45 seconds, you're losing 15 seconds. So you're going to run out at 60 moves is kind of your math, right?
Yeah.
So if you're able to run a 6-minute mile with a break, right? The pace of 6-minute mile for 30 seconds with a break, and you always make your move when you get back, if you're a good chess player and you can do that, you're probably going to win at this, because that gives you 60 moves, right?
Yeah.
So should give you enough time to checkmate someone who's inferior, right? 60 moves.
Exactly.
It takes you to the end game usually, right? The opening is usually 10-ish moves, and the middle part is another 10 to 20 moves, maybe 30 at the most.
I think that's probably what I'm going to be shooting for when we do our match, is to run them in about 45 seconds.
Okay.
And then because
just to you don't want to be too mentally drained, or just because you're worried you won't be able to keep up the pace?
Yeah, just to not lose all my energy right away, right? To keep a pace.
Yeah, because those seconds, whether you're thinking in front of the board or you're thinking while you're running, the clock's still running, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, unless you're going to do the move exactly when you come back, like perhaps in the opening, there's a stronger argument to pick up the pace because you know what move you're going to do, right? You don't have to think.
Yeah. And then plus you get your opponent to start running sooner.
Right. Yeah. So we are going to play this. We're going to have a game. We're going to piece it together. We're going to make an episode of Run Chess. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a game. And I mean, you've beaten me a lot of times at chess. I've beaten you a lot of times at chess. I don't know that one of us will be better than the other at this, other than first game, I might blunder a piece, or you might just leave a rook hanging or something like that. And it's almost going to suck if we play all this time and then like someone forgets to protect or something like that.
Well, maybe we'll play two. We'll play one each, white and black. So that's fair.
But I think kind of like the chess boxing, one of the analysts, so they had the world champ there and he was doing the analysis, And he was talking about how he was always better at chess, I think he was saying. But he'd go into the ring, he'd pretty much get pummeled. And then his brain would sometimes miss like obvious moves when he got back to the table, because it was like it was hard for his brain to think about the chess moves. And I think this might be the same, right? You're exhausted. Maybe you're not able to.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you go too hard, maybe you can't think as well. I don't know.
And I think what we'll want to do is we're going to try out the time controls, and we're going to, lay out some formal rules that we'll put in our video. And then we're going to ask you guys to play and trademark, copyright, Run Chess. It's ours. But, and maybe at the Run Chess World Championships that are going to be held
in August 2024 in the Caribbean.
Winnipeg. In the Caribbean? Don't we want to host the first ones here?
Yeah, sure. It'll be in Steinbach, Manitoba.
Steinbach. Okay. We've got a beeline on a venue, and it's going to have discount. Yeah, it's going to be pretty good. Okay. So that's good. All right. So what do you have this weekend for running? We'll leave Run Chess alone for now, and we'll wrap this episode up.
Say 3 hours, brick run, an hour and a half base. Yeah.
I don't even know what I have, but I'm excited to get back to whatever I got to get doing. It's almost like too slow, right? After you do like a race or an event like that, it's like it takes you forever to get back in the training to where you were before. I wish I could just go back to, but I'm sure there's a reason why. But like, I'm not going to do 26 miles on Saturday. I know that.
No. So I think the reason is he wants to. It's all about timing, right? So those high volume weeks, you can't maintain that for very long, right? So he wants to kind of lead up to that, so that in like 4 weeks we're doing our max volume, and then or 4 and 5 weeks we're doing our max volume, and then you start tapering, and when you're doing your max volume, you're doing more than you could sustain for a long period, right? So he doesn't want to push us too hard before we get to there, right? So that we can do that. And then after it's a taper, right? So
I wonder if, like, I think of Terry Fox when he was running across Canada, like there's no possible way that he could have trained for his body to be able to do a marathon a day, right? There's no possible way at that age that he could have ever gotten to the point. So like, do you think he just like was like, I don't know, gifted and like, or do you think his body broke down because of his running? Or do you think he just didn't care and was like, I'm running and I don't care if I get injured. Like, I'm just going to do this marathon a day. I'm doing it.
Well, I'm guessing he must have had a really strong right leg, because he probably has been living with that for a long time.
So for those of you that don't know, Terry Fox is a Canadian icon and hero. He ran across Canada. He diagnosed with cancer as an 19-year-old, 19-year-old, decided he was going to run across Canada, started at one end of the country and did about 2/3 of it, did about 5,000 or 6,000 miles. And he did it by doing a marathon a day, and he took the odd day off every couple of weeks, but he basically did a marathon a day every day.
And he was an amputee. He only had one leg.
Yeah, I forgot to say the most important part. He had cancer and lost a leg and was doing it as an amputee. And he was pushing out 11-minute miles. And I don't know if you've ever seen the pace and the videos of him, but it's like grueling. Every step looked like it was grueling. Like, so I think of him when I think of Run with Rob, and I think of I look at my training stress score and like what happened to me when I was doing my half marathons every day.
Well, so how many miles did you do leading up to your Ironman in the 2 weeks, including not your Ironman, but let's say including your ultra and the 2 weeks before?
Yeah.
How many miles did you do?
Including my ultra and the 2 weeks before. So I tapered for 2 weeks before.
Okay, so never mind the taper. So let's say take the week of your ultra. How many miles did you do?
52 or 54 or something like that.
You only ran 4 miles the whole week of your
I'm
ultra?
exaggerating. I guess I did a couple half hours, maybe 10, maybe 60 miles.
Okay, and then how many miles did you do like 3 weeks before your ultra?
About the same, 60. Because I'd do 50 on the weekend, and I'd have a Tuesday, usually Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe 70, probably 70.
Okay, it's not as much as I thought. Okay, but anyways, so 70. So you're going to be doing a bit more volume, but it's going to be, it's going to be low intensity. I wouldn't worry too much about getting injured.
Okay, I'm glad.
I mean, do what you can. Obviously, I for me, stretching. Maybe use your good shoes, your shoes that.
I do want to share this. Like, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but like my chronic training load, I remember I said it was the highest was. Does this work here? Yeah, I'm going to share this. So this right here is this was my Ironman right here. So I was training more there, way more than I did.
Yeah, but it counts. It underestimates your training load. Running to me is a bigger training load than biking and swimming, but that's just my opinion.
Okay. I felt like look at this lull here.
So sorry, what was your CTL at your peak? Just
104, I think 105.
Oh, well, I'm at 95, so I'm getting there.
Yeah, so 95 I was at maybe a month before. So yeah, you're already higher than I was.
Huh. Anyways,
with your fake data, it's not even real.
Well, that's yeah.
So anyways, I just kind of thought that was interesting because early on in the podcast, I was talking about how I felt like I was training more now, but I guess you're right. Like doing 70 miles, I think in a week is more than doing, 10 hours, 12, 14 hours on the bike. And
plus you were doing them as really, I was doing 60 to 70 leading up to the marathon in LA for like 2 weeks. Yeah. So I peaked at like 60, but it was because I spread it out. I spread it out the entire week. To me, that's a lot easier than doing what you were doing, where it was 2 super, super long runs. To me, that's easier. But
what is your what was your all-time high for miles in a month?
265 in October.
Holy shit! I did 387 in January.
387?
Yeah.
Wow.
Does that include?
Well, no, that's like 90 miles a week, man.
No, that must include. Oh, that probably includes biking and whatever.
Yeah. Well, on your training peaks on your calendar, if you look at your calendar.
Okay, I'm going.
And then you just look at the week. It says run how many miles you have on the right. There's a summary for every week.
Total duration. Okay. Run.
But just below is your miles.
Okay. Yeah.
Or your kilometers, maybe.
Okay. So I did 65 the week of the Ultra.
Okay.
55 the week before. 62 the week before. 60 the week before.
Yeah. So that's like my October, basically. Except yours was more concentrated, sounds like, during the weekend.
Yeah, I guess. So I guess all I'm saying is I'm not worried about being injured, but it's like,
I mean, it's a thing that could happen, but you haven't been injured, right? You haven't.
I've been so lucky.
But I mean, I think that's just because, like. Yeah, so I think it's because you haven't exceeded your, so this, I mean, it's 2 weeks, right? So I don't think you get injured in 1 day running, is what I'm saying. And you're not hurt. As long as you're not hurt going into it, you're going to survive 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're right. It's like, I'm doing the right things. I'm doing the strength and mobility and the physio, and I'm doing like all the activity that I need to do to strengthen my core and whatever they say to do. So, and I don't want to underemphasize that. I shouldn't mock that. I'm being serious. Like it's like the work I'm doing with Q and with Joel I'm convinced it helped me to get through that Ultra.
Yeah, for sure. And then the other part is you would probably like taper. I would imagine you should really taper before that and
Wow.
go
I have the
go.
Ironman 2 weeks before.
Yeah. So go low volume for 2 weeks, I would say.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Recover and then get into it. When's your next swim?
Friday.
Oh, do you go to Bonita 6 a.m.?
6 a.m. Yeah.
I might join you for that.
Okay, I'm gonna find my spare goggles if you need them.
Okay, I'm gonna find mine. And by the way, those of you that have been following the show, you may recall episode like 3 or 4 or something. We talked about going a bike down south in Minneapolis. We actually ended up booking it, so we're actually going, and we're going to be biking spring break. So I'm excited about that. Get outside and Great Wolf Lodge, beautiful place. I love it. We gotta get pictures from all these things that we're name dropping. Anyways, anything else, Charlie, you want to add?
No, I think that's good for now.
Okay, right on.
Yeah, so we'll see each other next week.
Yeah, we'll see. Thanks, guys. Don't forget.
Or Friday, I guess we'll see each other at the swimming on Friday.
If I go, yeah. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the smash button. Make sure to, wherever you listen to your podcast or wherever you watch your YouTube videos. Thank you for tuning in, guys. We'll see you. So Rob, Charlie, from the Running Journey, we will see you in the next video.